What if everything we think we know about the beginning of the universe is wrong? For 100 years, we've been told the same story. The cosmos exploded into existence 13.8 billion years ago in an event called the Big Bang. But what if that beginning wasn't a beginning at all? What if it was just one chapter in a far stranger story that stretches into infinity? The Big Bang theory is the crown jewel of modern cosmology. It explains why galaxies are flying apart, why we detect faint radiation left over from a hot, dense past, and even why hydrogen and helium dominate the universe. At first glance, it seems airtight, but when you zoom in on the details, the story begins to fall apart. According to the theory, everything, all of space, all of time, every particle and photon was once squeezed into a point smaller than an atom, a singularity. But singularities aren't physics. They're signs that our math is broken. Then comes the horizon problem. The universe is the same temperature everywhere we look, but regions on opposite sides of the sky could never have been in contact with each other to even out. To fix this, scientists invented the idea of cosmic inflation, a kind of supercharged expansion right after the Big Bang. But here's the problem. Inflation itself has never been observed. It's just another patch on a theory full of patches. So, if the Big Bang doesn't hold all the answers, what does? Some scientists argue the universe didn't begin. It restarted. According to the cyclical model, reality goes through endless phases of expansion and collapse. First, everything rushes outward, galaxies drifting apart into darkness. Then gravity claws it all back, crushing stars, planets, and even space-time itself, until another explosion wipes the slate clean. And then, it all begins again. This isn't just an ancient myth dusted off by modern science. Mathematicians like Roger Penrose have suggested the possibility that traces of previous cycles might survive in the universe around us. Tiny scars, imprinted into the cosmic background radiation, could be whispers of universes long dead. If true, it would mean we are not the first universe, and we won't be the last. But what if instead of looping, we're just one bubble in an endless sea? Imagine that our Big Bang wasn't unique, it was just one spark among countless others. In some theories of eternal inflation, space never stops expanding. Instead, it fractures, creating bubble after bubble, each one a separate universe with its own laws of physics. That would make our entire cosmos nothing more than a tiny pocket in an unimaginable multiverse. It's a mind-bending possibility. Some bubbles might last only seconds before collapsing. Others might give rise to bizarre physics where stars never form, or where life could never exist. And somewhere out there, perhaps another universe looks almost exactly like ours, except in that reality, you never clicked on this video. But while the multiverse is fascinating, it raises a deeper question. If our universe is just one bubble, then what created the foam? The search for what came before the Big Bang often leads to the strangest frontier of all, quantum physics. In this realm, time itself behaves differently, and particles can blink in and out of existence. Some theories suggest the universe might have emerged from a quantum vacuum. Not nothing, but a sea of potential waiting to erupt into reality. Others propose a bounce. A previous universe collapsed under its own weight, reaching an ultra-dense state before rebounding into the expansion we see today. This view doesn't describe a beginning. It describes a cycle of transformation, where death always hides the seed of rebirth. But not everyone agrees. In fact, one of the most famous physicists alive, Brian Cox, argues that even asking what came before may be the wrong question altogether. When asked about the origin of the universe, Brian Cox gave an answer that stunned even seasoned physicists. What if the universe didn't have a beginning at all? Cox points out that the concept of a start only makes sense within time itself. But if time is part of the universe, then asking what came before may be like asking what's north of the North Pole. The question simply breaks down. Instead, Cox suggests the cosmos might be infinite. No first moment, no singular flash of creation, just an endless, boundless reality that's always existed in one form or another. To us, the Big Bang might look like the beginning, but it could simply be a transition in an eternal process. This flips the narrative completely. The universe isn't a firework that went off once it's an ocean, without shore or starting point. But if that's true, what explains the mysteries we still see written in the stars? Some cosmologists believe the universe itself is hiding evidence of its deeper story. Take the cosmic microwave background, that faint afterglow left over from the early universe. Roger Penrose argues that hidden within this radiation are strange circular patterns, scars left behind by black holes that evaporated in a previous universe before ours. If he's right, then we are literally looking at fossils from a cosmos that no longer exists. Not just a beginning, but a memory of a universe before time began again. Other researchers propose that dark energy, the mysterious force tearing galaxies apart, could be the echo of a past cycle, a kind of cosmic momentum carried over from an earlier universe. In other words, the universe may not be telling us its origin, but its history. These debates aren't just abstract math problems. They cut to the heart of how we see ourselves. If the universe really had a beginning, then everything, stars, planets, life itself, came from a single moment of creation. That makes our existence feel fragile, like a rare accident that might never be repeated. But if the universe is infinite, eternal, or cyclical, then we are part of something far larger, woven into a fabric that has no edge. In that vision, endings are never truly endings. The cosmos may fall silent, but somewhere, somewhen, the song begins again. And that raises the most haunting thought of all. Maybe the universe doesn't care about beginnings or ends. Maybe it only cares about continuing. For now, no one truly knows whether the Big Bang was the first spark, just one bounce in an endless cycle, or a ripple in a multiverse ocean. The data we have can be explained in more than one way. And the deeper we look, the stranger the answers become. The only thing clear is this: the simple picture of the Big Bang as the absolute beginning is fading. In its place rises a far more mysterious reality, one where the universe may have no first moment at all. And perhaps that's the ultimate twist. The universe doesn't owe us a neat, human-shaped answer. It may be eternal, infinite, and far stranger than anything our species can fully grasp. If we've learned anything, it's this: the story of the universe isn't as simple as a single explosion of light. The Big Bang, once taught as the unquestioned beginning of everything, is slowly being reframed not as a moment of creation, but as just one act in a play far older and stranger than we can comprehend. Think about what that really means. If the universe had no beginning, then the very question of where it all started might be meaningless. There may never have been a time when there was nothing. Instead, there may always have been something: matter, energy, or even entire universes endlessly cycling in and out of existence. This vision is terrifying because it strips away the comfort of a clear origin. We humans crave beginnings, a birthday, a first breath, a starting line. But the cosmos might not work that way. The cosmos may have no first chapter, no page one. Imagine a book with no opening sentence, only middle chapters continuing forever, pages without a cover. That's the reality scientists like Brian Cox and Roger Penrose are daring us to consider. And if that's true, the implications are staggering. It could mean that everything we see, the galaxies, the stars, even life itself, is just part of a repeating pattern, destined to appear again in some distant cycle. Civilizations may rise and fall not just once, but countless times, their stories erased and rewritten by the endless turning of the cosmic wheel. Entire universes may have lived, thrived, and collapsed long before ours, leaving behind only whispers hidden in radiation patterns and the faint tug of dark energy. But here's the part that chills scientists the most. If the universe has no beginning, then it also may have no true end. Entropy, the heat death, the collapse of galaxies, these may not be final curtains, but transitions, doorways into another state, another universe, another turn of the cycle. For us, it would feel like everything ended. But for the cosmos, it would be just another breath. This idea turns existence into something almost unfathomable. We aren't living in a fragile, one-time miracle. We may be standing inside an infinite ocean of universes, each wave rising and crashing, again and again, without ever stopping. And here's the most unnerving thought. If the universe is eternal, then perhaps every possible version of reality must eventually exist. Somewhere, in some cycle, there may be another Earth, another history, even another you, asking the same questions. That realization is both haunting and awe-inspiring, because whether the universe had a beginning or not, the fact remains. Against all odds, here we are, alive, conscious, and aware enough to wonder. And maybe that awareness, this fragile spark of curiosity, is the closest thing we'll ever get to understanding eternity.